Hiya guys and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing another top 10 best horrors on Netflix right now. And yes, we have managed to find another 10 movies on Netflix. Believe it or not, there's a fair few good ones on there.
Yeah, I have to say, it is an awesome site for horror.
Yeah.
Horror is probably the strongest category they've got there. I think. Um,
Y- Yeah,
I,
I think the only thing it's really missing out on is the classics.
yes, maybe, but I
We
think,
got a lot of originals and
yeah,
some mainstream modern horror movies, but I'd love for them to get, even though I've got them all on Blu-ray,
yeah,
it's
I
still
know.
nice to watch something online, you know?
Yeah, right. So we like before we do five each. So my first pick is Final Destination 3. I love this movie. It could We're making our face for. It's
Uh,
awesome. It's
it's
my
it's an
favorite in the franchise. Shush. My favorite in the franchise. Came out 2006, quite a long time ago, and almost 20 years ago now. And it's the one with the roller coaster. I love this film. It's got Elizabeth. What's her name now? She's from your
Death Proof.
favorite film, Death
I'm putting
Proof.
on the spot, you know. I can't remember her name, Elizabeth
Anyway,
something.
she's beautiful. She's and it's the one with the roller coaster and starts falling apart. Got those stars of the franchise, loose screws and loose water, and it is an awesome film. And it's got some of the best deaths in it. In fact, it's got the best death of the series, where those girls get cooked in the sunbeds when they get trapped in the sunbed. It is horrible. I love this film. Obviously, you don't love it.
I mean, I really like it, and I literally watched all 5 Final Destination movies about 2 weeks ago. But I just feel like it's a big franchise that everyone knows, and they're all, paint by numbers, generic horror
Well,
movies, you
I
know?
love
I
it.
just think it was a wasted pick, Jenks, that's all.
What's your next pick? First pick.
Right, so my first pick, I've got Platform from 2019. This is a
Great.
Spanish horror movie, and it is an absolute grim one. It's basically about this mysterious prison. Uh, it's just a deep hole that's got a platform that goes from top to bottom. And how it works is that the prisoners on the top, there's 2 to each platform, and the prisoners on the top, there's a massive platter of food right in the middle where this platform goes up and down. And we don't know how many levels this thing has got. It seems endless. And on every platform that goes down, there's 2 people. And the more it goes down, the worse food they get because they're getting everyone's
Yeah.
scraps. Even 10 down, you'd be like,
Yes.
oh,
And they've
buzzing.
got, and they've got a limited time to eat it, haven't they?
Yes, exactly. So the platform comes and you see these people
Yeah.
pigging out, and oh, it's horrendous.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much about where the film goes or how the story revolves around the prisoners. The only thing you need to know is that this is a fantastic, grim Spanish horror movie with a premise unlike any other movie
Yes.
you'll see.
Yes. And there's a sequel coming out. So
Yes, there is.
definitely watch it before the sequel.
It's
Uh,
called Platforms with an S
oh, genius. Genius.
because there's only one platform in the first one.
How do they come up with these? Right. My next pick is a very underrated pick, and it would probably be on underrated vampire video if we ever did one. And it's
Yeah.
Day Shift. Jamie Foxx is in it, and Dave Franco. And it's very much like the Men in Black of vampires. Instead of hunting aliens, they're hunting vampires.
I like that, Jenks.
And it's like this hunter, played by Jamie Foxx. He hunts them in the day, obviously when they're sleeping, and he's part of quite a big organized society where he gets jobs. You know, he's kind of like freelance, where he gets more money for certain jobs. Not quite as slick as Men in Black, but when this came out, it got trashed. Not a lot of people watched it. I loved it. I thought it was really unique and really enjoyable. And Dave Franco steals the show. You need to
He
check it
does.
out. Yes.
He does. I absolutely love that film. And again, it's one that came out, and I thought, to be honest, the trailer looked a bit generic. It
Yeah.
looked like it was going to be a bit of a slog. But oh my god, what a fun film! And that scene where they're in the house and they have that massive fight, and you've got the
Yes.
contortionists. Oh
Yeah.
my god, all of it's practical. They got contortionists in who could bend their bodies when they fell, and
Yeah. It's
oh,
awesome.
it's a fantastic film. I
Yeah.
would love them to do a sequel to that one. It is built
Yeah.
to be a sequel.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. What's your next pick again, Kurt?
There we are. So in fourth place, I've got Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark from 2019. This is
So
a great
underrated.
It is, yeah. It's a great Halloween movie set in 1968. And like the majority of Halloween movies set on Halloween, you've got a small town in America. There's this legend of this haunted house. And all the kids get together on Halloween and they decide to break into this haunted house. It's got this rich back history of oh, what's her name now? Sarah Bellows, who a girl who had been murdered or something, I think. And basically, inside the house, they find her journal and they start reading from it, and they unleash all sorts of hell onto their town. And basically, all the characters that come from these books into the town are all characters from. I don't know what year the original novels came out, but there was kids books called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark that this
Yeah,
film is based on, and the characters are literally ripped straight from the pages of those books. And that's what I love about this film is you, and I didn't grow up with this, so it's not I went nostalgic about it. And it was when the film was coming out.
yeah,
I looked into the books and I seen all the character creations and stuff from there. They've got some awesome monsters in this movie,
yeah.
specifically the girl walking down the corridor with a big face.
Yes.
Oh my god, nightmare fuel.
I saw this with my daughter. She loved it. It's a good gateway movie to watch for kids because it's quite
Yeah,
scary. It's a bit scarier than like Goosebumps. A good step up before you get
yeah.
into the serious stuff like Brain Dead. But yes, good pick. I like this film and it is underrated. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
massively.
My next pick is a great film. It came out 2 years ago, 2022. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Now, you could call it a thriller, whatever. It's in the horror section of Netflix, so I'm going to get a pass. It's awesome. You've got Pete Davidson's in it. Now, if you don't like him, doesn't matter because he is a douchebag in this. So
Yeah,
he's kind of playing that kind of character. It's a group of friends, not all friends, but a group of girls, and him and another guy, I think. And they're having a hurricane party. There's a hurricane coming, so they all pile into this it's like a mansion and drinking, doing drugs, and they all decide to play this game called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It's like a whodunit murder mystery in the dark. But real bodies start popping up, trying to figure out what's going on, who's next. And it has such a good ending. Obviously, I'm not going to say the ending. It's very funny. The girls are great. And what I love about it, if you're sick of all this nonsense, woke shit that you see now, progressive nonsense, it really pokes fun at it.
yes, it
It's like
does.
anti-woke, even though there's some of the actors in there are quite woke. But the film is a nice breather to like make it poking fun of this nonsense, you know. But I loved it. Highly recommend.
Yes, it's a cracking film. And like you said, Jenks, I'm not going to say anything about the ending,
No,
but
it's so good.
it's a good film turned great when
Yes.
you get that reveal at the end. For anyone that hasn't seen this movie, like you, Jenks, I highly recommend this one.
Yes.
Fantastic film. Yeah, so my next pick, I've got Haunt from 2019. This is another Halloween movie. If you can't tell, I do love my movies set on Halloween, and it's always great to get a new film that I can binge on Halloween. So
Yeah.
now we've got Halloween 3, we've got Haunt, and we've got Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, amongst some others. But this one, again, it's about a group of friends on Halloween that go out in the night looking for a good scare, and they come across this haunted house scare maze type thing. And they get invited in, promising the scariest night of their lives. And once inside, it's just full of these masked killers. It's a great throwback to 80s horror movies. It's a great throwback to masked serial killers. But you don't just get one in this movie, you've got multiple. And what's great as well is that they are hiding something under the mask, where usually if someone's wearing a mask, it's because, they're quite human. But this is such a
Yeah.
fun, gory, nasty film, and it's got so many genres of movies spliced into one. It's got a bit of Saw, it's got a bit of escape room, a bit of Halloween,
Yeah.
but this is a really good, pleasing slasher movie. If you're into your slasher films, if you're into your gore, this one is an absolute must-watch. It was produced by Eli Roth. Not that his name carries that much weight anymore,
Not
but
anymore.
he is the man in horror, and I think this one is severely underrated. But
Yes.
I highly recommend this one.
I
It's great
I
fun.
I think I watched this last year for the first time. I was
Yeah.
looking for a horror on a Friday. It popped up, and I thought
I think I recommended it to you,
it
Jenks.
possibly. I gave it a go, and I thought, oh, I was quite surprised. I was waiting for it to be shit. it's it's got a lazy title, Haunt, and I just
Yeah,
thought, oh,
yeah.
it's going to be one of those throwaway ones, and it's decent. I would highly recommend it if you want something a bit different and run of the mill. It's got a bit of both in it, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, of course.
Right, my next pick, it came out again 2022. I've got 3 on my list that came out that year, and it's Smile. Now, I've seen this twice. I put it on for my daughter a few weeks ago. It's not as brilliant as it's not. It's a very big film, but it is a decent film. And I think
Yeah, yeah.
when I first watched it, I was a bit hard on it because of the hype. I was waiting for something extraordinary, and it's just a run of the mill ghost movie. And if you just forget about the hype and watch it, it's a decent hour and a half movie with very creepy moments, generic in parts, obviously, trying to unfold the mystery, and they go to a nut house and they have to speak to somebody there, or no, sorry, a jail, typical thing. But there's some really creepy moments, especially when the ghost, she comes home in the kitchen and the ghost is in the shadow standing, and she's not quite sure if she's looking at a ghost. I love those moments. There's a moment again, Hereditary, and that's probably my favorite bit, where it's just slightly
Yeah,
off, like
yeah.
somebody standing there. So yeah, I would recommend it. And also the sequel is out this
Yeah.
year, is it? It's been probably
This
Halloween,
year,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
guessing. Yeah,
Very
yeah.
soon.
Yes.
Um, it's a lot better than it needed to be. I thought this was just gonna be another run-of-the-mill Blumhouse horror movie.
Yeah.
We had, Truth or Dare that came out a
Yeah,
couple
with
of
a
years before.
smiling.
Yeah, with the smiling. But I've gotta say, this film did a really good job with it, and the promotional campaign for
Oh,
this movie was great as well, where they darted actors around places, in, like,
yes.
public places where cameras were.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But what's the chances, right? Smile 2 and Trap come out at the same time, basically. Every time either one of those trailers came out in cinema, I was like, is this Trap or is it Smile
Yeah,
2?
because
Because
it's
it's
like in the concert.
yeah, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Uh,
I'm relatively looking forward to the second one. It's not
yeah, I'll
on
watch it. We'll
most
review it.
wanted list for the year, like.
Yeah. Right, what you got then? So, last but one pick, I think.
Yes, yes. So in second place, I'm not really badging these in order, but in
No.
second place, we're going very mainstream now, and I've got 2010's Insidious. This is one of my all-time favorites. This is a movie that has plagued me since the day it came out. I was relatively young when I first seen this one, and for me, it was like the next generation of horror. This is what we can expect. Unfortunately, not much has lived up to the intensity and the scares I got from this one,
Yeah.
but it's one I always go back to, and I always get those same scares. It's just got that horrible dread throughout. And it's basically about this family, the Lambert's family, and their son falls and ends up in a coma. And while he's in this coma, he's basically got this power where he can astral project and basically travel out of his body into this other realm. And while going through there, he brings back unwanted entities into the house.
Yeah.
And you think it's a basic run-of-the-mill haunting movie, but it's not. And that's what I love the most about this one, is that it flips it on its head and it gives us something new and
Yeah.
fresh. But this movie, right, is not short of absolute blood-curdling scares. You know, the first time I seen this movie, and we're talking about the opening shot, and I was like, "Oh my god, I've never been so scared in my life." And the film has been on for 2 minutes,
Yes. Even
and
just
it
even the
keeps
titles.
yes, exactly, and it keeps that going
Yeah.
throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack, the score, everything in this movie is
Yeah.
just off. It's great. I think James Wan did something fantastic with this
Yeah.
movie. A lot of good sequels, but none are nowhere near as good as the
Yeah.
first one.
I love this film. I've seen it countless times. It's the best of the bunch. Sequels are pretty basic, but
I like
yeah,
the second one. I really like the second one.
I
It's
don't.
not as scary because
Yeah.
it's a bit more flashy, but
Yeah.
it's a really good sequel,
Yeah.
Jets.
Yeah, good pick. My
Can I just say
last.
as well,
Yeah.
The Bride in Black.
Oh,
Oh my
amazing
god, there
character.
is nothing scarier.
My last pick, number one pick. Again, these are not fully in order, but it must be a bit of order because I chose this last. I love this film, and it's called The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Now, I know you love this film, and this is a very underrated gem. Stars Brian Cox, a big fan of him. He's a great actor. He's in X-Men 2, and
Yeah.
he's in that show
Succession.
Succession. Basic premise.
Original Hannibal Lecter as well in Manhunt.
Yes, yes. So the basic premise is there's a father and son. They work in a mortuary, and they have this Jane Doe, this dead body, and there's something off about the body. There's a decomposition doesn't match when she died, and she got strange wounds in the body that she got like broken legs, but there's no damage to the skin, and there's just something off about this Jane Doe. And they're just in the night, and they're just doing their autopsy, and things start happening in this mortuary, and it's so creepy and such a good premise. I absolutely love this. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's a cracking film. And again, it's another one you get that massive reveal at the end.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, another criminally underrated film. Do you know, I hear too much where people say there's no good horror movies anymore.
know.
And a lot of times people are looking in the wrong places. If you dig a bit deeper or watch our podcast,
What I was going to say,
you'll get some great recommendations.
subscribe.
It's actually great. I've had a fair few people like come up to me and say like, "Oh, I've had some great recommendations from your podcast."
Oh,
I mean,
no,
it's
great.
awesome.
What's your number one then, Kurt?
Right, in top spot.
Has he got subtitles?
No, this one's all English. All English, I promise you. Right?
Cool.
This is very mainstream. Again, it's had a great sequel. It has not had a great sequel. It's got a sequel, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I've got 2012's Sinister. This one stars Ethan Hawke. And again, this one is as grim as they come. It's basically about this crime writer, Ellison, played by Ethan Hawke. And he moves his family unknown to them into this home from this family. So a family lived there who were murdered.
Yes.
And he
It's
moves
a murder
his
house.
family. It's a murder house. He moves his family into the house because he wants to study the case for his next book. Inspiration. So his family don't know this. And in the attic, he finds a box of Super 8 films. And without going into anything else about the film, those alone are a movie on its own. If we didn't get that great horror character, Bagul, just the shit you see on those tapes is horrifying. And it's why I love VHS. VHS is because you've got these tapes and they're like snuff movies. They're like home movies of kills and some of the grimmest footage you'll ever see. And it's so real and raw. And he's basically looking at this footage and you can see all these crimes being committed. There's one where you've got a family hanging on a tree. It's horrible. And then while looking into this case, he discovers this supernatural entity called Bagul. And then that's basically where the movie kicks off. And it's about him trying to discover what happened with him and trying to take down this demon. What a fantastic film. Unfortunately, it had a terrible sequel. First one's great.
I'm lucky enough not to ever seen the sequel.
I want to watch it.
I really enjoy this film. It's a strange film. It's not your run-of-the-mill horror film with just ghosts and stuff. Like I said, the videos are very disturbing, especially the lawnmower video. That's the one that gets me.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I didn't like it when I first saw it, but I really did enjoy the second time I watched it, and I would recommend this to anybody. Good choice. Right. If you enjoy horror movies, reviews, rankings, please subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.